Do you think we are going to see a traditional altcoin season out there again, or is that game over?
I think that game is over.
And right now, altcoin season talk is hitting a 2-year low, and 38% of altcoins are near all-time lows, even worse than the post-FTX crash. And right now, alt season discussions are hitting rock bottom. But is alt season truly dead, or is alt season just different this time?
Altcoins. I'm looking at this right here. Altcoin season discussion has hit rock bottom on social. Right now, historically, this has been a strong buy signal before major altcoins run. Do you think we are going to see a traditional altcoin season out there again, or is that game over?
I think that game is over. I think we'll see a non-traditional altcoin season,
Okay.
By which I mean an altcoin season that rewards assets with real-world traction and real-world application.
So what two altcoins am I looking at that have real-world traction and real-world application? I'm talking about two of my favorites, Chainlink and Hype. It doesn't get much better for real-world application than Chainlink. This is from Citi. This is a few years ago. A token that helps facilitate the growth of an on-chain ecosystem may also gain prominence over Bitcoin in time as it becomes increasingly critical to the operation of a blockchain infrastructure. It is thus already possible to envision a commerce-linked or infrastructure-linked coin that may eventually eclipse Bitcoin. When you ask experts, what could that even apply to? You're not going to get many answers besides Ethereum and Chainlink. But we're not going to talk about Ethereum, we're going to talk about Hype. But first, let's talk about Chainlink a little bit more. We got a chart for you. Right now, there is a whale going absolutely bonkers on Chainlink. This is the past couple hours here. This is just about 4 or 5 hours ago. This guy's going absolute bonkers. Look at all the Chainlink buys, 2.26 million, 2.28 million, 2.28 million, 2.8 million. This guy is just buying hundreds of thousands of Chainlinks, sometimes even over millions of Chainlink right here. So let's talk about the Chainlink charts. We got two that we're going to look at real quick. First one I want to show you is Chainlink Bitcoin because we're retesting a historical level. This is when Chainlink first launched. This is September 2017. Chainlink would pump for the first 2 months against Bitcoin, but then it would consolidate. It would actually take a while to use this area as support. And if you look at Chainlink's price action, you see it very, very volatile all over the place. Until it gets into this area right here. These are weekly candles. This is about a 3-month period right there. So super volatile, swinging all over the place, hits the previous all-time high against Bitcoin, consolidates for 3 months, and then uses this area as support. And then Chainlink would go on a nice bull run against Bitcoin. From this level, it would rise an additional 1,200%. Okay, this is a 13x against Bitcoin. And if you measure the bottom, it's even way greater gain right there. That is a 16,000% gain. In other words, 160x against Bitcoin. So if you put in $1 of Chainlink right here, you can sell it and get $160 worth of Bitcoin. But now that takes us to the current price action. This has been in a long-term downtrend. Chainlink has just been bleeding against Bitcoin, but now we're coming up to that support area. We may have found a bottom. I would just caution because let me show you the Chainlink USD chart. But this to me, Chainlink price in Bitcoin does look fairly good. You can see we put in a whole month of gains, 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles. Might come down and retest this area. But if you go to the Chainlink monthly chart, now this is Chainlink USD, also see the same thing. We're in a very strong historical area for support. If I had any bearishness to show you, we have a potential bear flag. This is something you need to definitely pay attention to. This is pushing down pretty low. If this follows through, you can see here, Chainlink here, just dipping and dipping. And then we have a little bit of a flag pennant. And this just gives us a little bit of a target. I don't know if we can go this low. In fact, I don't think we are going to go that low. That's a $4 Chainlink. Now, what I would consider a more likely target is if you zoom into that support line. Now, on the monthly, you can see, very strong support. You can see where it hit. When you zoom in a little bit better on the daily, that's going to give us a little bit of support right there around 775. Right now, Chainlink is trading around 875. So we're talking about a $1 difference, give or take, between these two levels. Keep an eye out on this bottom trend line and this trend line right here. This top trend line is going to be around 830. So I like Chainlink accumulation at 830, 775. Just be wary of the breakdown here. You might need a cut and run. All right, what is the second altcoin that has strong utility, strong adoption? To me, I think we saw it over the past week here. It's going to be Hyperliquid. Now, during Sunday's attacks in Iran, when all traditional markets were closed, Bloomberg, that's right, the Bloomberg turned to Hyperliquid's crude oil contract to gauge the impact for investors. If hedge funds and banks weren't looking at stablecoins or tokenized assets before this weekend, they're paying attention now. So let's talk about Hype. Let's look into the charts here. Now, Hype kind of likes to listen to the law of large numbers. You can see a lot of activity. So this wick right here, that first wick, it's like $30.12. It then finds support at like $20.09. So it often just plays around these strong psychological levels. You can see it would dip. What do you know? What's this wick? $9.44. Candle body, $10.15. So shot up to 30. Found support at 20. Would drop to 10. Reversed at 40. $39.97. Again, you're seeing just these very, very strong round numbers. What would it pump to? 60. $59.50. So you're seeing a trend here. So, 30, 20, 10, 40, 60. We found support. A lot of people thought, all right, I'm going to buy a lot at 20. Wouldn't quite hit 20, $20.51. So it got very, very close. And so a lot of people are expecting to be able to buy at 25 or 20. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. Right now, it's finding support at 30. So we're pretty much at a strong psychological level at the moment. But this is in a bull flag. I see a bull flag forming. You can see the flag structure. And we might come down and retest the flag structure here. Let me get that a little bit tighter there. Just using this top candle body. If you move it down a little bit, you'll see where we're talking about here. This might push down 27, 29. Keep an eye out on this range. Keep an eye out on this parallel channel right here. If we can bounce from that very, very high target, just kind of run it out. This takes us to $44. So I got my eye on Hype. I've been accumulating more Hype. And for Chainlink, I'm definitely waiting. Maybe potentially test the bottom of this range. I did get some during the crash. I didn't get the Pico bottom, but we were a buyer during these candles right here. And so we're going to be looking at the bottom of this range. It's going to be about $8.37. So like Matt Hogan said from Bitwise, this crypto alt season is going to be different. It is no longer the case where Bitcoin is just going to lift everything. It's an altcoin, Bitcoin's going up, your altcoin's going up. That's not the situation anymore. I think we need strong fundamentals. We need a real use case. In Hype's case, very, very strong financials as well. So I'm DZ for Discover Crypto, and I'll see you in your Hype bag and your Chainlink bags at the top.